I'm Angela, and I must confess, I am a peanut butteraholic. I love peanut butter. So when you need that peanut butter cookie fix, these are the cookies for you because they're no special ingredients and quick and easy to bake. You can fix that peanut butter craving in no time with this Homestead kitchen skills. Hey friends, this is Angela from Art of Creation Homestead, and I'm back at you again with another Homestead kitchen skills. If you hear my dryer in the background, please excuse it. As I've said before, this is a real working homestead. This isn't a studio. So I recently, with the chocolate chip cookie recipe, I had someone ask about peanut butter cookies. Well, I have basically 2 peanut butter cookie recipes that I just absolutely adore. This one is probably my overall favorite. So this is the one I'm showing you first. There may be another one. There may be another peanut butter cookie recipe to come. You guys can let me know if you want to see that one too. But this one is probably my overall favorite. It's quick, it's easy, very few ingredients. And the best way I can describe it, it tastes like peanut butter fudge in a cookie form. You can't get any better than that. You really can't get any better than that. So what I'm going to teach you how to make today is a flourless peanut butter cookie. Yes, I said flourless. It's flourless and it's dairy free. So if you have any of those, if you have gluten problems, this is the one for you. If you cannot have dairy, this is the peanut butter cookie for you. We don't have any of those problems. I just make this one because it is fabulous. So let's get started with this very quick, very easy recipe. First things first, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and you want to line 2 cookie sheets. I am using half sheet pans because I can fit more on it, with parchment paper. Do not skip that step. It makes it so much easier. Now, in this bowl, we have 1 cup of granulated sugar. We have 1 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar. This is brown sugar that I made myself. If you haven't seen that video, I will throw an iCard. It's on one of these 2 sides. It'll be up there floating in the sky somewhere. But this is the brown sugar that I made. You can also just use store-bought. But this is 1 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar. You can use dark if you choose to, but I prefer light in this. And it's 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And we are going to just go ahead and mix those together. I'm just going to use a fork. This is so crazy easy. I mean, you will not find anything, you will not find a peanut butter cookie recipe that's easier than this. And it will satisfy your peanut butter craving in a heartbeat. You also want to set aside just a little bit of granulated sugar, maybe 1/4 of a cup, but you probably won't even need that much. You will need that for later. To this, we are going to add 2 cups of creamy peanut butter. I would say, I've never used crunchy peanut butter in it, but I would say you probably could. It probably wouldn't hurt a thing. Now recently, I showed you how to make homemade peanut butter. You can use that in this. I'm using store-bought because I know not everybody has homemade peanut butter, and I don't want them to turn out any different than the way you would make them. So I'm using store-bought today. Now, this to me is what helps make it delicious. You want to add 2.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I know it sounds like a lot, but to me, it makes them wonderful. So now, and you know, with me, I never measured, that's roughly measured. So now we are going to add 2 large eggs. to the mixture. These lovely eggs from our lovely hens. And all you have to do now is just stir it up. Just stir all that goodness together. Make sure all the egg is mixed in, and make sure all your sugar is mixed in with your peanut butter. And as you can see, it's coming together super quick, super easy. Honestly, you can't get any easier than this. When it comes to peanut butter cookies, you can't get any easier than this. You've probably seen this recipe in a lot of places. This is just my take on it. You will notice there are some tweaks in it from the original, but this is what I think turns out best. And if you've never had a flourless peanut butter cookie, you are missing out because it is amazing. And I know it looks like it's not going to turn out. You think, how can this possibly bake without flour? It works. Trust me, it works. So now you have a really stiff dough here. It's pretty darn stiff. So now I have my 2 half sheet pans. You can also just use cookie sheets. And I have a 1.5 tablespoon cookie scooper. I will leave a link in the description below to this one. This one's an OXO, and it's really good, really strong. So what you want to do, you want to scoop out level scoopers full of your dough. And you just want to plop them on your cookie sheet. Put 2 to 3 inches or more between them, just to be on the safe side. Just so that they have plenty of room to crisp up and do the right thing. As you can see, I've got them all put out on the pan. Now comes in that extra sugar. You just want to go along, sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top of each dough mound. Just a good little pinch. Nothing over the top, just a good little pinch on top of each one. That's why I told you it probably won't even take 1/4 cup. Now I'm going to be doing these in batches. We probably have about 1 or 2 more pans of cookies here. Now to make that classic peanut butter cookie look, we are going to take a fork and we are going to mash them down. The sugar that you just sprinkled on helps keep your fork from sticking to the top of your cookie, which is smart. You don't want your fork to stick to the top of your cookie. So once you have gotten all of these mashed down and got your pretty little fork designs, you can go back and sprinkle just a itty bitty bit more sugar on top, just to give them a nice crust on top, because it will give them a beautiful crust. My mouth is watering even thinking about these cookies. That sounded almost like Cookie Monster there. These are all done and ready to go into the oven. You will pop these into a 350-degree oven and you will bake them till the edges start to turn brown just slightly. Okay, these are out of the oven. They took between, I will say between 10 and 15 minutes, more like between 12 and 15 minutes. And halfway through, I switched them, put the bottom on the top and the top on the bottom for even baking. How long they take to bake all depends on how big you made your cookies and your oven, of course. But at the size that I made them, that's how long they took for me. Now, these are not completely baked. You want to leave them sit on the pans and completely cool till you can pick them up off the pan with your hands. Because if you tried to get them off the pan right now, they would just fall apart. Because the lack of flour in them, it doesn't have the structure that they would have otherwise. So they need to finish setting up completely and cool completely. Do not skip this step and think you can just take them off the pan. You will regret it. I'll be back and show you what they look like when they are completely ready to take off the pan. As you can see, these beauties are done cooling now, and they're ready to be transferred to a cooling rack. You guys know I did 2 pans. The other one's sitting over to the side so that I can show you me putting them on a cooling rack. You can cool them in other ways, but I highly recommend getting cooling racks. And see, now you can just pick them up beautifully. Oh, these are amazing cookies. They really are. The best way I can describe them is, like I said, they're like eating peanut butter fudge in cookie form. Oh, they're just amazing. Now some of these are still a little bit warm. Not so much so that I can't pick them up, but they will finish cooling on the rack. But as long as you can pick them up, you can transfer them to the rack. All of these beauties are now out of the oven and they're all cooled. Or at least enough that I can pick them up and put them on the cooling racks. So now they have to completely cool before you enjoy them. And let me tell you, these are delicious. They are chewy and crisp at the same time. And the flavor of them is like eating peanut butter fudge in a cookie form. Now, can it get any better than that? No. The answer is no. After these are completely cooled, 100% cool, you will want to store them away in an airtight container. These will only last about 3 days or so, about 3 to 4 days in an airtight container at room temperature, because they don't have the flour, so they don't have the structure. But I promise you, these aren't going to last long in your house. They are going to be gone like that because they are that delicious. And as quick and as easy as they are to make, you can just whip up more. If you make them the size that I made them, you will get about 20 to 24 cookies, roughly, depending on if you go over, if you let your cookie scoop mound up a little more, or if you level it off completely. We'll be back when Jason gets home and we'll let him taste these delicious cookies. I know he's gonna love them.
All right, so here we go. I get the pleasure of tasting these. Look at beautiful, beautiful cookies. Smell wonderful, Ange. They smell great. That's amazing. No flour?
No flour. Or butter.
Or butter?
Or butter.
Heck. That's pretty darn good. That's amazing. Wonderful. Outstanding peanut butter cookie. No flour or butter. It's pretty impressive. Like you told me, peanut butter fudge and a cookie? Pretty much. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason. It's Angela Kay. It's Art of Creation Homestead. We love you guys. God bless you. Goodbye.